Welcome back to another episode of the Strongman Winner Circle podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Camby, and this is episode 85 with Nicholas Camby.
Hey, dude, this is my YouTube. Welcome to the Dane Train's Unnamed Show with my guest, Nicholas Camby. Going to Italy's Strongest Man. We sit down and talk about how we met, doing seminars, Italy's Strongest Man, Italy's soon-to-be-born strongest baby in 70 days. We talk about people, we talk about Titan Barbell, we talk about competing, we talk about gaining weight. We answer your questions. Coming up on Dane Train's Unnamed Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Here with my friend Nicholas Camby, the Italian stallion.
Hello, guys.
Current Italy's Strongest Man competitor, WSM competitor, Giants Live, all things strongman. How we doing, Nick?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming to the barn today.
Thank you for having me.
It was a very good session.
Yes.
Should we get a little room?
So we can get a little room. Right here. So, how we doing, man?
Pretty
good to see you.
Just getting in the swing of things. I'm 70 days out from being a father, so there's an expected due date. So
Big PR.
yes, biggest PR yet, biggest competition yet.
Yes, 70 days. That'll be here before you know it.
Oh yeah.
All right, got a name picked out?
We do, but it's a secret for the internet.
Secret for the internet. We'll find out. Stay tuned next time. Thank you for having us. So we had a good session. Let's see. Let's do a little housekeeping real quick. We're gonna do the T-Rex giveaway from the second YouTube, and I'm gonna have Mr. Camby help me out. He entered into the giveaway. So I did not show Nick Camby this image. Nick, there was 3 entries into this giveaway.
All right.
There's 3 numbers, 1, 2, or 3. Pick number 1, 2, or 3, please. Any number, yep. Drum roll, please.
3.
Oh my goodness, would you look at that. What does that say right there? Nick Camby, congratulations, you won a T-Rex headband.
Oh, amazing.
All right, shout out to Evan Singleton. We're going to order a headband after this is over. Congrats.
Now I just need hand tattoos and a chin strap, and I'm going to be good to go.
You'll be all set.
Yeah.
Hey, Evan, maybe we can get Camby a bigger one than mine, but we'll be good. Poor Matt Sincotter and Joe Tower lost out on that one. Next time, guys, thank you for commenting.
Stinks to stink.
It stinks to stink. Next time we train, we'll have our T-Rex headbands on.
Perfect.
All right. So I wanted to talk how we met briefly. Top Strength Project about 5 years ago, COVID, right? I think we're going to link the video in here because he had the archive footage. I'm in the gym. This guy comes in, pretty good shape.
It was literally the first day that we could have worked out because it was past like a certain date that you could start having people in that wasn't just private. So Steve opened up to the public. So first day, first weekend.
Yep, because Rhode Island and Mass were tough. So a lot of good Rhode Island guys came down, bodybuilders included. And so I see this guy, got like 310, 315, whatever it was, 320, a bunch of plates loaded on the axle. And I see him approach it. I'm like, oh, this guy's going to deadlift the axle. Let's see what he's got. Dude takes it, cleans it, reps it. Dude, I think you did like 5 or 6 reps, whatever it was. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I didn't introduce myself. But then Omri, our buddy Omri, came in. He goes, yo, that's Italian Stallion Cambidude. He's like 105 kg. I think you won 105 OSG by then, right?
It was 2020, so I was getting ready for Savannah ASM that year. I took second, and then 2021 is when I went off.
But you were established, well-known, and you were hitting your prime. And I had no clue who he was because I wasn't doing strongman yet. But I found out who he was and started following, and here we are. So what I'm going to talk about, like we're going to get into a little bit of like his training for Italy's Strongest Man. And
first of all, did you have a good log day today, Dane?
Good, not great. You know, we failed the 285 rep, but we came back and got
You
it.
still hit it.
We hit it. Yep, that's all that
doubled
counts. Yep. And so yeah, essentially a double, 2 cleans. It's good to work your cleans, right? Would
Yes.
you agree? It's good to work
Absolutely.
cleans.
If you can't clean the weight, you can't press the weight.
Can't press it, and if it cleans easier, then maybe the press is easier, right?
That's exactly right.
So hopefully on game day at OSG, we're not struggling with the clean.
Yes.
And if we do, we just back down to 265 right away, try and get a rep.
Absolutely.
All right. So we Top Strength Project. We met. After that, I would see you at some local shows. You were volunteering at the 2022 Ocean States, right? You were still prepping for 105. Skinny Camby at the time, spotting me on the squats, helping out. You were carrying sandbags that day. I remember that. The sandbag and the farmers, we're all struggling to do farmers, right? Max distance farmers. And every reset, instead of getting the cart out, this guy's just farmers carrying it back. We were working your ass off that day. Kudos to you for volunteering. And then I started we started to really get to know each other because I joined Strength Fleet, right? Shout out to TJ Studasher. Hope I didn't jack that up because you had some programs on there. So I joined and I did Kingdom of Log. I didn't have a coach at the time. And I would just slide into this guy's DMs and he would always answer me, give me advice, even though I wasn't paying him directly, right? But I ran the whole program, had some good success, had some PRs. And then at the end of the program, I did a show and had Log, first event. And a funny story because we're going to talk about seminars now. I decided, you did a seminar 1 week out from my show. And I decided I was going to do the seminar and I said, I'm going to go to Top and have a bro day, right? Sadly, it was the day Nick Sasente hurt his knees. And
when he went for 500
500, he was training for OSG. We had 10 or 15 killers in the gym that day. It was an awesome time. I should have done the seminar because I did the bro day. I didn't do the seminar. 1 week later, I failed my second rep on the log, 265, which I should have had, right? It was kind of built into the Kingdom of Log. We peaked for that show. I failed. I'm like, oh man, I should have done the program. Win the press, win the show is the name of the show. And I didn't. And I ended up getting 265, but I came in third. So I could have maybe won. I said, I'm going to lose this show now. Luckily, I won the show and it didn't cost me. But then, a few months later, I did do the seminar at Titan. Great seminar, by the way. Hit 4 PRs, and we had a great time. And that's when we really got to get to know each other. And like you've been invested in my success since then. I appreciate that. Let's talk about the seminar and everything you put into it.
Sure. I think I'm 14, 15 seminars in now. It's usually kind of a 4, sometimes 5 hour seminar. I've broke it down into kind of a PowerPoint discussion where I like to kind of give out kind of all my thoughts, all my anecdotal notes, and just break down different items. And I think I always increase it each seminar by like 1 or 2 slides, so they keep getting longer and longer. And then I just start like running through it. But anyway, then I get a lot of hands-on, and then depending on where I am, sometimes I'll try to go kind of really heavy, and sometimes I treat those as like little competition days because I'm flying out. I'm not in my own element, but I'm in a new gym, so it's a good day to kind of max out. So I sometimes put on a show, or at least kind of go heavy, or at least just train with the guys.
So what you're saying is, I've been meaning to get to another one of your seminars because it's valuable information. I just come here now, but I would love to come do a seminar again. I should do it again. And he's absolutely right. He puts all this stuff on PowerPoint, and I was in there. I was a nerd. I had my phone out. I have it on the phone that's recording. I have my notes from that show, my warm-up drills, and some of the stuff like squeezing the glutes, which I'm terrible at. But I have all the notes from that show. And the great thing about seminars, I've said it for years, and it's great to talk to the person who runs the seminars, like you get a chance, one, to learn from one of the best, right? At the time, you had 4 overhead world records. I think it's 2 now, right? 3.
How much? Where am I? If you count
chipping the axle, right? Or was it
fixed?
But
it's technically I have the Apollon fixed axle.
Yes,
record.
Which is harder, right?
Well, it is. But I think the log is an American record, and then the circus dumbbell still there, and the block still there. Yeah, so technically like 2 solid records.
But at the time, you held simultaneously 4 world records simultaneously.
I was a week off.
Oh, were you?
Because Emmanuel Pasquari ended up breaking my log record a week before I did the dumbbell record.
So you had 3 though.
But I'm 4 for 4 for a world record.
World record. So you held them. You didn't have the Camby Slam, we could call it. I think did I just make that up?
Camby Slam.
The Tiger Slam, how he won all 4 majors, but it wasn't in 1 year. So if you had all 4 records, you had the Camby Slam. Nobody else has done that.
Yeah,
right?
no, but no one's ever broke 4 overhead records. I think even like heavyweights or other weight classes, I think a lot of guys have held 2. But no one's ever held, ever broke 4.
4. That's incredible. And
Luke Sadden's probably on his way. He at least has American record in the world.
Maybe we'll see some more someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah! I see.
I broke a couple. Now I have a couple of Italian records now. So
let's go.
Yes.
Start there, Italian, and then just keep building up. European, then world, right? World domination.
Exactly.
So the great part about the seminar, guys, I've always said this. You get a chance to learn from the best, and not only learn from the best, but a guy like Camby, he's really nice, right? He's invested in your success. He wants to see you, like he said, he likes to do mini shows at these seminars and train with you guys. You get a chance to train with one of the best. You get to know each other, a little bit of networking. Maybe he follows you on Instagram after, you never know. And he takes you under his wing. Like he was very kind, taking me under his wing. And it's the same thing. Like when I do seminars, I like to try and take a little bit of a nice deload before the seminar and try and hit a PR too.
I always recommend a nice deload because usually we're trying to at least go up to 90, 95%. And then see kind of where the form breaks down. So I'd rather see you fail when you're really in good shape rather than when you're kind of depleted going in.
Makes a lot of sense. And then you can give that person that anecdotal advice, like here's where you're breaking down, work on this, back it down and what they need to work on. So you've been very helpful to me. My log, I won't say it's gone through the roof, but I think at the time my log PR was 245 a couple years ago. Now we're up to 302 here. Maybe we'll go up soon after. Maybe after OSG we'll have a bro day again. Try 315.
We like bro days. Yeah.
Yep. And Split jerking's gone up. You've been a big help with that. Axle, all of it, all the overhead. So long story short, guys, do the seminars. Right, I say it all the time. It's tremendous value. What are your seminars are around $150 still?
Average. I think if I go out to the West Coast, it's probably a little more expensive just because of longer travel.
Worth every penny, guys. I've done a bunch. Camby has done seminars. He did the Inez seminar with me, right? 4 overhead world records. He still came to Inez Carrasquillo's seminar. We had a great time, right?
Great time. Did some throwing, some stones, axle and log. Yeah, it was
a little bit of everything. If anything, you just have a fun day and you learn something, right? So. You are getting ready for Italy's Strongest Man.
Sure am. So this will be my second one. I would like to have been there last year, but I was coming back off of kind of a bicep injury, so it was a little too early. I think I've seen guys. It's funny if you watched Luke Richardson this past weekend. He came off a bicep tear 5 months, which was crazy, and I felt like I wasn't even ready for my bicep tear like in 10 months. So some guys really recovered, but I think I'm 36 now. I'm a little older.
Yeah.
So it takes time to kind of recover, But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of returning. I was in Bassano a few weeks ago, so about 6 weeks in between the trips. So gonna be down in Vico Bassano, so outside of Pisa for the next show.
What events? What if you want to do a quick rundown of events, or just want to talk about one you're most excited for?
Events. We got a sandbag throw, so 40 to 60 pounds.
And that's the first event, right?
Yes, like that. Then I'm not exactly sure. I think it's frame carry, which is pretty heavy, 750. Down and back for I think it's 10 meters down, 10 meters back, and then you have 308 log for reps, 706 or 320 or 704. But regardless, deadlift for reps, and then a pretty heavy same series that you would see at Giants Live. They're doing for the men's open.
It's on the stones, right?
So it's gonna be heavy stones, yeah. So it'll be a pretty good show. So it'll be a good test, and I'm gonna go there just to hit personal best rather than just kind of focus on the rest of the competition.
So what would personal best be on the log, the deadlift?
If I hit, I think I've never hit on stuff like anything over 5 reps at around like 705. So if I hit maybe 8 reps, I think I remember I was watching Iceland's Strongest Man, and they had like Patty Haynes, and they had of course Thor doing the same weight, 302. They both wore suits, but they were both in double digits. So if I did like double digits without a suit, I think that would be pretty cool.
Nice.
Log, if I could hit over 8 reps, because that's what I did. It's the same setup I did 2 years ago. So if I hit like 9 or 10 reps, I think.
And log's event 3 or 4?
I'm not sure. I think it might be event 4. And then frame, just fast frame bags, just have just a clean run, and then stones. Yeah, hit the 200 kilos at the end would be huge.
Not bad having log deep in the show, right? Like having a good bankable event for you. Because then like if you're in a position where you have a lead, you know what you need to do. If you're not, and you got to send it, you got to take the win, right? You're gonna go full send. Because on the first event, let's just say it was first event, and you happen to be the first guy going. You're going full send, right? You gotta do all the reps, right? Even if you think, this guy might only have 4 or 5, you got to go, right?
But half the battle I think kind of going in Italy is just putting it all out there. So I'm treating it as not so much as kind of like going there and just do what I needed to win. It's more just treating it as like not a glorified training day, but just I'm going out there so I can kind of get confidence. Because I was a little beat up after Europes. I got like 10th out of 12th this past Europes when I did like 6 out of 12 the year before. So I was a little bummed from that experience. But so I thought I just need to get my legs under me. I maybe need to just get my confidence back into competition form.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to find a fun way to do that. And what's a funner way than going back to my home country?
Well, that and you're always the showman, man. We see you. You know what? I'll say this at the Giants, right? It was Europe's, right? What was it called?
Yeah, Europe's, yeah.
Like you got a really big pop from the crowd. Like you did that overhead event, and like the crowd, you do the thing where you point. And the crowd really popped. They love you, right? You're a showman, right? So if you go to an event, it's tough. Like I said it at PSL, like I want to put on a show. I want to work the crowd, right? But it's tough if you don't have an event you're proud of. If you have like not the greatest deadlift session,
you need it. Yeah, you need.
You have to do good.
Yeah, you need a performance.
And for me, like if I'm losing to say Tyler Davis by a bunch of reps, like is it still okay for me to celebrate? Well, if I hit a PR, it's my own success, right? But so yeah, if you have
you win that head-to-head battle, sometimes that's an easy one too.
That would be incredible, right? Yeah, because at least you had that success. Maybe you didn't win the event, but if you won the head-to-head battle, celebrate. You're cheering the other guy on, but you always bring the energy. So I look forward to that. Is it going to be live stream or anything? Or?
It's going to be live stream on Official Strongman.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So
Tune in, guys.
Easy peasy.
Maybe we'll see if I can figure out how to put a link to that, or we'll just repost later, right?
You might have to translate some Italian, but it'll be pretty easy.
So the stones, that's the same run you had at Europe.
So I think that it looks like it's all the same height. So it won't be the same heights, but it will be 120 kilos up to 200 kilos
The
of
same
440.
weight.
Yeah.
If you, hypothetical, you have a lead and you don't need to clear the stone run, you're going to try and clear that run?
I mean,
or are you going to do it
absolutely. As long as I'm feeling healthy, I'm
Yeah,
going to
feel
go
good,
for it.
you
Because
said
it's actually second to last competition of the year because we have a big one at the end of the year, which is going to be the team competition. So
The Titan team medley. I'm looking forward to that. I don't have a team anymore, but maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm a last minute reserve. Anybody who watches this,
Get out of here.
we got a bug on the mic. Anybody who sees this, if you need a last minute reserve, I told Eric, literally last minute, I want to bring my gym bag, and if somebody drops out that day, or God forbid an injury in warm ups, I'll jump right in. I'll do any events. Right, ready for anything. That's always a great time. Eric puts on great shows. Great shows.
So
You got
that's
a
how
good team?
we got to finish out the year. Yeah, I got a bunch of killers on my team.
Awesome.
So watch out.
Back to stones real quick. Like stones is always a funny one. Like if you're in a position where you have the lead, I've been in that position locally, right? Obviously different levels, but it's like, do I send it, use it as a training run, or do you just be careful? Like, how do you be careful on a stone? You kind of can't. Like, you have to go for it. I've seen people tear biceps on stones, so I don't want to do that. But more often than not, we just go for it, but cautiously. Try and put on a show for the fans. They like to watch stones. Even at a local gym, you got 30 people in the crowd. You want to, especially on one of the shows I did, nobody cleared the run. So I'm like, all right, well, I only need to get 2 stones to win the show, but let's do the whole thing, right? We did it at the OSG qualifier too, which you commentated on. Thank you for that. We did 4 sandbags, so
It was a good day. It was a good day.
you got to balance having fun and being a showman, right? Because that's what the people love you for, being a showman, but also getting out healthy and being ready for the Titan Team Comp.
Yes,
The most
exactly.
important show of the year.
Yes.
What anything
Super
set on the
Bowl.
horizon after? So you're going to take a little time, I assume, for the baby.
Absolutely. Probably anywhere between 5 or 6 months. I've been thinking like something like the Santa Monica Classic would be a good one. Would be a fun one.
Martine's show, right?
Yeah, and then the wife also loves California, so
Yeah, that's what a destination show. I heard. I didn't watch the live stream, but I heard it was a great show. I heard a lot of people.
I wanted to do
liked
it this past year, but I just wasn't feeling it. I think after Europe.
That's like June, May.
I think it was the last weekend in June. So
Erica, World Ultimates in Europe, or maybe go to Santa Monica with Camby and the newborn and hang out, on the beach,
decisions.
right? Oh, that's a under 231 the show.
No, under 90 kilo last year because Uncle Nick won.
Oh, all right.
Remember?
Maybe I'll cut for that. I think we're going to stay in striking distance. All right. Anything else you want to touch on before we get into fan questions?
Let's see. No, not too much. I hope to do something like the Santa Monica show. Maybe break into the SEL. I did get an invite for SEL USA, but it was during my mother's birthday, so I couldn't really squeeze
Our
it.
friend,
And it was the week before I went to Bassano, so I couldn't.
It's tough to
leave,
make it all fit, isn't it?
I can't leave the wife 2 weekends in a row.
It's hard. How do you balance opportunities and which ones to say yes to and which ones maybe to hold on?
This past year, I got certain amounts, but I think whatever your life goals are and kind of a little timing. So sometimes it's helpful when you have competitions in the horizon, so you can plan around. But a really good strongman is able to kind of plan life around strongman, and of course because you got to have balance, because if you dive in too much of the strongman, everything else will suffer. But you also need kind of that balance, because you want to go in healthy, or you want to go in level headed. You don't want to be like, oh, I've missed out on so much opportunity on the other side that you're miserable doing strongman. So you got to have a certain amount of balance, and I think that's why I'm still here, getting stronger 14 years later.
It's a great point, because it's a selfish sport, and then I don't have kids, but I get the wife and the dog. You have the wife, you have the kid on the way,
And the winner.
and the wiener, of course, Miss Maya. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to strike that balance. Some guys maybe go a little too hard on the strongman. They think I'm 41 years old, right? I'm just getting started still, but people think that it's over for them. But there's opportunity in masters and stuff. And if you're having fun, maybe you stay healthier. It must be easier to balance all the shows now that you're not cutting weight too, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Especially traveling overseas, that's a huge. It's much better if you don't have to.
You can kind of stay ready physically, but you can jump in. You only get injured by jumping in too soon, but at least you don't have to add weight cutting as a variable,
exactly.
which is something I have to deal with, because I always said, and I think you're a big proponent of wanting me to go 105, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think you always wanted me to eat more and.
I think eventually, but I think you're having a good time, and you did well last year, and this past year, 4th at PSL. Yes,
Appreciate that. I agree, because it's funny, because our friend Mike O'Connor, who I look up to, and you have helped me a lot, and obviously my coach Nico, and it's funny because when Nico talked to me, did he talk me into going? No, he talked me into staying 105 for the PSL qualifier last year, because I was going to do a last minute cut. And he goes, I talked to Camby and Mike, and they think maybe this too. And then Mike hit me up the same day, said, hey man, I think you should go 105. And I was like, all right, let's do it. 3 guys I look up to said, stay 105, be strong, and I did. And then we finally made the cut to 90, and it does come at a cost, like you said, dieting. I go to barbecues with family, and I'm like, I really don't want to stay too long because the urge to like grab that burger, grab those
A
chips.
couple beers.
Yeah, that
And then
too.
you're 10 pounds heavier. Then
Yep. I do, probably shouldn't talk about, weed's legal in Massachusetts. I do the weed seltzers, right? There's no calories. But the problem with that, then you get hungry, But at least there's no, like, negative side effects from alcohol. But I enjoy alcohol, too. We've had some drinks at ASM. It's a good time. So, yes, it does come at a cost. I'm going to stay 90. I get the qualification for PSL, so I'm going to stay 90 one more year, I think. But I still got to talk to Frankie and Nico. But, we'll see.
he's gonna have discussions.
We're going to have discussions and see
But
what's best.
what you guys need to know is a strong man. It has to be a balance, or else it just outweighs. So there's a
Absolutely.
scale to it.
Yep, and the wife. Thank you for saying that because the wife watches these, so I gotta say the
Shout
right
out
thing
Erica.
for the lady. The balance for me this year was I qualified for PSL and maybe appreciate PSL and OSG. Lynn gave me an invite, so I said I'm gonna focus on these two shows, which we're doing now. But all year I didn't do any shows. All the homies wanted to train on Saturdays. They wanted me to do shows. Everybody's goading me to jump into these shows, and I said nope. The eyes are on the bigger prize at the end of the year, and I was able to spend more time with family. I didn't do strongman Saturdays. I would go to the gym with Erica on Saturdays, and I trained a lot of GPP and hypertrophy, which doesn't take as much of a toll on the body. I was hanging out with my niece and nephew more and things like that. So I look forward to doing that again next year, but I think I'm going to stay light enough to maybe jump into a pro-am or something, 90 kg, but we'll see. Enough about me.
A lot of options. There's a lot
There's
of
so-
options.
dude-
There's the most options ever in strongman.
Too many options, dude. Too many options. U90, 220 USS, 242, 105, Masters. Way too many. Too many. You guys will find out when you get older. All right, before we get into a couple quick Instagram questions, one question I had, don't tear up when I tell you this. You've always been very kind to me, right? Treating me with respect. You're kind to everybody in the gym, and you're very kind on your Instagram, right? It shines through. You're authentic, and like I would say, like when I found out about you in strongman, you were kind to me, and you're also like the best in the world. 105, I consider you the best of all time, right? So you're like a strongman idol, something of a strongman idol, right? And the topic is like when idols become friends, because I like to think we're friends now, right? We're friends,
course.
right? We're friends, yay. Do you have anybody like that? Like when you started rising up the ranks, was there anybody you looked up to that maybe you got a chance to train with
Easy.
or rub elbows with?
Big Eric Dawson.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Eric, when I first joined TPS, he was going through, like, he was that amateur breaking into the pro system. So he did really well at Nationals. He took second at Nationals, so he missed his pro card by one spot. Chad Wesley Smith beat him, the powerlifter, Juggernaut Strength. Chad Wesley
Yeah,
Smith.
I think I've heard of him.
So he beat him. So then in 2013, he went out to Shreveport and won his pro card. So I pretty much like started watching his rise, and then he went out to do a couple SCL shows. He won two SCL shows. Went to Dubai. So you do America's Strongest Man. So I watch Eric, and then on the 231 side, it was also like, for instance, like Kearney's in the same state. So Kearney was always like kind of like a step ahead. Because I started, but he was ready. He was my judge in my first ever contest already.
Was he still 105 at the time?
He's 105, so he's been doing strongman for like 4 years. So he, like, pretty well developed. So like in 2013, when I did nationals, I took 10th, but he won, and then he started doing like the pro shows and breaking the log record. And I would watch what he does, but like he kind of like really kind of showed like really kind of pushed the limits and of course, kind of sometimes seeing is believing a little bit. So,
and I think you've done that for some guys too around here.
So that just kind of like, so those are like just two local guys. And then of course I was always a kind of big fan of just like some of the big guys. So like at that time I would be watching like Thor's rise and Eddie's rise, and of course like Zadrunas was kind of in his prime. So those were fun on the heavyweight side. And then let's see who back then. So this is like the first few years. I think Eric and kind of
And you
good ones.
You haven't competed with Thor yet, right? He wasn't at the Europes, right?
I have not competed with Thor.
Someday.
One day, yes, close.
That'd be a cool thing. Like obviously you want to beat him, but like it'd be cool to compete with somebody.
Yeah, just
like
even being like
sport, right?
even being like the same heat would be pretty sweet.
Right. Like I equate it, and it's different. But John Hack, right, who's considered the best powerlifter of all time, him and Red Cone. I was warming up deadlifts with John Hack and Dan Benson, 2 world record holders, and like those guys, they warm up with 405 pounds, right? So like my deadlift is only 600 pounds. So the three of us are warming up with 405. Everybody else at OSG is warming up with like 600, blowing their wads. So it's kind of cool. And those guys treated me with kindness too, and they're like the highest level of the sport. Eric's such a great guy, man. I love Titan. You know, I walked into Titan Barbell for the first time because I see everybody do the Strongman Saturdays, right? And you go in there on Saturday, and dude, like I think last year, you were competing. Was it last year or 2 years? It might have been 2 years.
Where was this?
I think you were over in Europe competing because Kearney and Adam Bishop were in the gym
Oh,
training
yes.
for Worlds.
Yeah.
So I have a video where I'm doing a PR sandbag load, and Kearney and Bishop are right in the back, literally right there. And I joked around and said, "Yeah, these two World's Strongest Man competitors don't care about my PR, you know." But you never know who you're going to see in there. And the other awesome thing about Eric, he's built a really great community, right? And maybe TPS might do this too. I've only been to TPS once or twice. Sadly, I haven't been in there in Boston. But you go into Titan and you look at the wall, and you got the wall of like champions, right? You got the Hadges, you got Brittany Diamond. Now you have Damon and Michael Connor. I think there's some other people I just don't know. But he invests in your success, right? If you train at that gym and you win a national or world title or something, he puts you on the wall. And like, I know that means a lot to like Damon and Mike. I'm sure it means a lot to you. You know, I don't think I trained there enough to be up there someday. And
I'm the first name on the wall. Just
were you the first?
Well, you're the first banner if you go all the way.
Oh
to the
yes,
left.
yep.
Yeah,
So when you go into a gym like that, it's like at Toppy as the record board, right? You see names on there, and it's like gives people something to aspire to, right? You look up and you're like, man, I would love to do that someday. Now, will we all get there? No, but you're up there, you know. And then now at a gym like that, I would walk in and I'd be like, oh, look at this guy deadlifting 315. And I'd look up at the wall and be like, oh, wait a minute, you know, like the Spider-Man meme. So, anyways, thank you for being authentic and kind. Let's get into some Instagram questions and wrap this up. We got a few of them. I gotta look at my screenshots here. All right, let's see. All right, our friend Matt Cooney Strength and Conditioning. Shout out to Matt, John Doyle's coach and a great competitor. I competed with him. When will we see the split jerk again?
Soon. But I think a lot of it, like when the event calls for it, right? Let's see. I've had how many maxes? I don't think I've really had many maxes to actually train a split jerk. I think technically in Bassano, I could have done a max split jerk out there, but also my push press was super efficient. So
right now, are you talking log or axle?
So this was the behind the back jerk. So I even was working my split jerk on it, behind it, but just like my push press was just so far ahead of time. But like I also haven't had like the right event to do it for, if that makes sense. So I think it will. I think that just the timing has been right. But like if it's not an actual max, I don't really have to do it, especially now that I'm like vipering and strict pressing over 400 pounds. I don't quite need I don't really need to like.
We might get some footage of that.
Yeah.
On right down here.
But the thing is like when am I gonna start split jerk? I always want to have an ambition of doing like a 500 pound, maybe behind the back or front rack split jerk. So that is there. But then
500 put you in rarefied air, right?
Yeah, but I would say when I started ramping up early, I wanted to do like a big press just for my own, just have it. But like I think after 10 years of wrestling, 14 years of strongman, I think my knees are starting to get sore. So
that's got to mean something. Right? You got to do it when it counts, right?
Exactly. But now it just I'm just having this weird like Viper strict press prowess. So I'm riding that train. But don't worry, Mac. It will come back.
Now is it something that you like in warm up? So you'll keep it in once in a while, just keep it crisp, or you'll just wait until you're gonna do a whole block?
Oh no! I probably split jerk like maybe 7 or 8 times this year.
Yeah.
On different things, but I haven't really gone over anything over like 400.
And now it's been like 2 years since you've gone to heavyweight, right? To over 2 now.
Yeah. So technically, I told everybody I was gonna go heavyweight after I got hurt, leading into 2022 OSG. So we're about we're at the 3 year mark.
Nice.
And I said it took about 3 years.
And you're carrying the weight well too. You did it pretty clean.
Yeah, 315.
Surprising how fast you could shoot up. If it was me, it'd be all ice cream and donuts, and I would be like 35% body fat. The split jerk, does it feel different being heavy? Like when you're heavier and thicker and bigger, is it? Do you feel as technically proficient in it? Like when you were maybe smaller and more nimble?
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say I was much more nimble. I had a better rack positioning. My ankles had better flexion. At 231, so it has been definitely adjustment, but just having the static monster, and then not static monster, but having the static strength has been nice. But also you get to the point where you're able to just put like I used to be at 231. The only way I could get stronger is I had to increase my technique or get better technique. But now I can just eat more or rest more. Pretty much just get bigger and I move the weight.
Yeah, and you probably did a really good job of milking every ounce of technique you could, like a Josh Lancaster type, like when you were 105, because you had to, right? But then that's good because you have all that in your toolbox now as a heavyweight. You could be one of the most athletic heavyweights. A question that you just brought up in talking, when you're doing a show, like now that you're heavyweight, do you decide, ooh, I want to be like 300 pounds for this one, a little more athletic, or I want to push the weight and be like 325, get a power belly? Like, how do you make that decision depending on events?
I think ideally I want to be. I don't think I'm at my final form yet, but I think 310 and lean is my ultimate goal.
Okay. This kind of similar theme. What sparked the choice? I know the answer, but what sparked the choice from 105 to open? That was John Corky.
So I think I was getting a lot of, a lot of people were kind of suggesting that. One of my mentors was kind of suggesting that. I think there was kind of like a shift. Like 2021 was a really fun year, but the following year, kind of like some of the top contests kind of fell off a little bit into either if it was like kind of prize money or just a little bit of kind of prowess. But that wasn't like the main deterrent. But that year too, I think there was maybe that, but also I was starting to get like a little too big after 10 years of being at 105. I was starting to get a little too thick for the class, and I was running a perpetual kind of calorie deficit. So it wasn't as fun, but also like the people believing in me and saying I could be at a heavyweight also kind of sparked a brand new challenge and a whole new like world that I could do. So I think I think just the excitement. I think I could have stayed at 105 and still competed, maybe not like won every show, but still like would have been one of the top guys and enjoyed the time. But I think I'm a better strongman for going up to heavyweight, kind of getting a whole new experience. I'm just more well-rounded.
And like that's one of the questions. Do some guys stay 105 too long? Do some guys vacate too early? Right? Won't say names. But then do some guys stay too long?
Yeah, I think my mentor Sean DiMarino said that. He said that he stayed in 105s too long.
Too long.
He wished he made the choice, and he always said that like at the time, like Rob Kearney when he jumped in 2016 to go heavyweight, that was like the perfect timing for him.
Yeah.
So you wish he did something like that.
If a guy like Sean waited too long, maybe he missed the window, right? Because it's hard to eat when you're a little older. I don't know how old Sean is, but
there's a little mouse watching us.
Oh,
I've never seen a mouse in here.
Oh, dude, it's a barn. There's definitely a mouse. We should on camera.
Where are the owls?
Yeah, and then, dude, not for nothing, was it the first year when you made it to WSM? Or was it just a little after the first year?
It was. I always said it was 18 months after my last weight cut.
So after the last weight cut, you committed to the bulk. You had some success over in Europe. I think Arnold Amateur, right? You won, right?
I did. I was Arnold Europe's.
Europe's.
And then I went over to win Italy's. But the main thing was OSG. The pathway to World's Strongest Man is official strongman.
Yep. And you got top 10. Right?
I think it was the combination of the top 10 and being a former champion was what kind of was enough for them to give me a shot at Giants Live, and I proved myself at Giants Live.
Yep. Yeah, you had a great show at Giants, and then so in 18 months you made the jump. You committed, which it's risky, right, and ballsy, and you made it to WSM, dude. That's like the childhood bucket list, dude. What every kid remembers waking up Christmas morning. You turn the TV on and you're watching dudes carry refrigerators on yokes and logs and doing all this stuff. What better than that? Dan Eager asks, are old school pitbull logs cooler than all the new Bardos Power Center and Rogue type logs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's just a well balanced log. I think like having a 90-pound pitbull log is just, I think, very just efficient. It's not too much weight that's sitting there, but it's not too light.
That's what I used today, right?
Yeah. So yeah. I have two of them. So I have my original one, and I got a recent one when I think my buddy Johnny Waz was coming down and selling equipment. But yeah, the pitbull was a really nice log, and it was really easy, really well made, and it was cheaply made. Like $250 for that log.
Can't beat that. Is that Johnny Waz's company? Was that Pitbull, or he did something else? Right?
He did Big Dog.
Big Dog. That's right. That's the blue one at Titan with the black
Yes.
center, right, with the diamond plate. That's
Yes.
pretty cool log too. Pretty heavy. All right. Next question. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
My brother Craig. My brother Craig started his journey a few years ago in weightlifting, and he's doing Guerrilla Games this weekend. No training, just jumping in for the love of the game.
Are you coaching him?
Sadly, no. I have helped him with some programming, but no, he just jumped in last minute.
You gotta be there.
I can't. It's my nephew's birthday. So on my nephew's birthday, Craig is going to the show. I'm going to go represent the family and be at I have two nephews with the same birthday party that day, so I'm pulling double duty.
You're selfish, Craig.
Not going to make it to Guerrilla Games. But Craig, we hope you kill it. Craig asks, origins of the Cambi log. It looks pretty cool.
I think I always wanted kind of like a Slater log because I think they're really cool. But then also I'm thinking like if I want to be at these big shows, I want a log that's going to be at the big shows. So a lot of the big shows uses the Pro Series 8-foot log, so that's what it is. And it just happened to come in pretty heavy. So sometimes those logs kind of are in the mid 200s, but it came at 293. and because it's wood and it's down in the barn, it gets as high as 295 and it's low as 290. But right now it's almost the same weight as it shipped.
I had my top single today was 285. Nico, if you're watching this in earmuffs, I had visions of maybe taking the Cambi log for a ride again, but we'll save that. We're going to train for the
Soon.
show and after the show.
Yeah,
We hit it last
7
year.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'll put a little snippet of my 302 PR. Remember that day with you and O'Connor? We came down after OSG last year. We had a YOLO day, and I failed it empty twice. I failed it, and then the third one something clicked. I think you said squeeze the glutes, sit in the chair, whatever it was, and I pew, and then we got 302, and it was an epic day. And you admitted me into the kingdom.
It was a good
of
bro
God.
day.
It was a great bro day. Gave you a hug.
It's those bro days that we live for.
Matt Sincata asked, Matt, you know Matt, local
Yes,
kid
of
up
course.
North Shore. Does Cambi ever get hate from other Italians for living in America but taking titles? I'm assuming he means taking
Sure.
Italian titles.
You know what? There's some stuff like outside. I think there's out of all the Italians, I think there was maybe there's a few Italians in their cronies that got upset. But there's one of them that was wanting me to come compete, and he thought it would be kind of great, and he wanted me to compete for the title, but I got upset that I beat him. So and then that kind of and then things kind of kept rolling because I went off and did well at OSG, got the European invite, so that kind of sparked a little controversy. But just in the end of the day, you can't complain your way to being a top strongman. You got to put in the work every day.
Agreed.
I'm looking at you. You know who I'm talking to. You're probably gonna watch this. You can't complain your way to be the top.
He's got to watch it. He's got to analyze the tape because we got some footage of some lifts we might post in here. Yeah, man. I mean, people can get butthurt all they want, but if you have Italian citizenship, you get an invite. Dude, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And if you can't beat somebody, then you got to work harder. That's what's great about this sport. It's not subjective.
Do you
It's not
think someone that
bodybuilding.
was born in a country can represent their country and live
Yeah,
there?
absolutely.
If Dane grew up in Russia, you think
That should be able to support Russia, yeah.
I think that they do that in the They do that in Olympics. I think
Olympics,
there's
yeah.
even a smaller requirement in the Olympics.
How many different countries, and no shade, I love this guy. I met him last year, Mark Felix. I remember when I was here. Mark Felix, Grenada. Mark Felix, Great Britain. Like, now where's he from? He's been all over the world.
Sure, but yeah, I think there's a lot of examples. I think the most recent, Emmanuel Pasquari, he competed for Romania. He was born in Romania, I just learned.
Really?
So he went and did Romania's Strongest Man. So he won Romania's Strongest Man. He's also Austria's
Austrian,
Strongest Man.
yep.
So and then of course one of the kind of fan favorite of Evans Nana. Evans Nana,
Yep.
of course, lives in Belgium but represents Ghana. So the difference between me and Evans Nana is 8 years. So I left Italy when I was 6. He left Ghana when he was 14. So it's not much difference in terms of representation. But and then like I always say other examples. I'm not just putting it out there, but just a little history lesson. Like Vitalis Lilas was winning Lithuania's Strongest Man from Ireland. You had Dimitar Samardinov winning America's Strongest Man, but also competing at Europe's Strongest Man.
Yeah, I didn't even know Dimitar was American because I saw him at ASM one year, yeah.
So yeah, there's always examples, but it does help like you're kind of born there. But even if like you have heritage and you want to represent, I think it's as long as kind of you're like I think like competing in some of those shows and kind of giving back or at least aspiring the next level of a strongman. I think you need it.
Our buddy Omri asked if he could represent DR, Dominican Republic,
DR.
at OSG, right? And Omri is American, but he's from DR. I said, Omri, absolutely. Like he said, should I ask Lynn? I'm like, dude, you just wear your flag and let him know. Of course, Lynn's gonna want more countries represented. Then he could say 41 countries, 42 countries, 43.
Absolutely.
I think I saw DJ Doggett is representing some African country. I think
Nigeria, right?
I think so. Yep, and he's from America. Well, he lives in America. I don't know him personally, but yeah. You know, these promoters give out invites, whatever. You should want the best athletes at the shows. You want to spread awareness, spread the word, and you want to grow strongman. You want to grow the sport, right? We want to see it become football. We need to like get the best athletes competing. You don't want participation trophies.
But yeah, you know, like has some of this stuff like bothered me. I was like probably a little bit just because like growing up, I was always the Italian kid, and it's funny when people say like you're not Italian when the whole time I've grown up. So that was a weird thing for me. So I think you can't have it both ways. Where like I had to that there were growing up kids would make fun of me for for not speaking English and not only speaking Italian, but now it's on the vice versa. So it's tough. Kids these days. But back to the basics is just I think you just you know what like in the end of the day like a lot for me just going back to Italy. I get to reconnect. So in a few weeks I get to see my father, my aunts, my cousins, and also just Italy is a great place to visit. So
How do you like competing in Europe? Because I that's on the list. I said it earlier.
I think
World Ultimates maybe.
It becomes
for
a little
me.
more of experience. I think when in America everything's kind of relatively new. You go to like kind of the same like convenience stores and shops before you get ready. Go to the same type of restaurant. You might go to like a chain or something like that. But when you go kind of overseas, you go to like new restaurants and you try new cuisines. And then if you got the ability to kind of hang out with the local crowd, they'll really just kind of show you around. They want to show you around. They want to show you their culture. So if you get hooked in with the locals, especially the local strongman, will do that. So it's usually like probably the best experience. So like my last two Italian trips have been awesome. So this third one's going to be equally better, and then hopefully do at least 2 competitions in Italy per year, kind of going forward. I think,
Good.
As long as everything lines up.
All right, but first we got Italy's Strongest Man in a couple weeks, and we got the baby in 70 days.
Yes.
And then we'll see what's there to infinity and beyond. Last question. I think it's going to be a brain buster.
Ooh.
I wonder if I should do it in his voice.
Do it.
Who is your favorite strongman named Vince?
Vince.
Vince Papali? Vince Papali from the Eagles, another famous Italian. Remember the movie Invincible?
It was Vince McMahon a strongman?
Vince McMahon, maybe. Dude, he says, remember when you were a kid, he did the strut? He was jacked.
He was
Vince McMahon
really
was
huge.
jacked.
But I imagine probably Vince Wilkerson, right?
I believe it is Vince
Vince.
Wilkinson,
What's
yep.
up, Vince?
So he is your favorite.
He's probably my favorite Army strongman ever. Like more than Justin Lohr or Dan Hughes, like all that. Even
Dude, we're going viral now, dude. You just talking. Oof.
See, hear that, Dan and Justin? Favorite Army strongman ever.
Last podcast, we can't help but talk about the military. Last podcast, we talked about who would win between strongmen and Marines. Now we're talking about Vince and Dan and
we're very
Justin
controversial
Lohr.
here.
Yep.
What
and John Corky's in the Army,
What
too.
is your podcast name?
It doesn't have a name yet. My wife really likes Dane Trains of Thought.
That's a good one.
You know? I like Sitting on Sandbags or Strongman. What was it? Strongman... Something with an S.
Between Two Stones?
Yeah, well, Furman did Between Two Logs, and you don't want to copy. And he copied
Did he?
Between Two Ferns, yeah. For like 2 episodes.
Oh.
Fizzled out pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it fizzled out quick. Strongman, shenanigans, I forget. But we'll see.
Write in the comments for Dane and tell him what his name of this
I kind of like
podcast
not
should be.
having a name, right? I just like to be, just sit down and talk with my friends. So, that's all I got, man. Thank you for having...
thanks for stopping by. It's good to catch up.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, and hopefully we'll have to do another one.
Yep. Hopefully we're going to cut in some training footage. Hopefully the man will give me some nice Viper presses I can put in here. And we'll have you on again someday, hopefully. Maybe after the baby's born next year, we'll talk about some life PRs.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me do some competitions and we'll
Yes.
get some
Titan,
material.
Maybe I'll live stream the Titan team medley if I don't get a team.
And then it's like the talk show. I have like this crazy anecdotal story that'll come in, and then we'll have a live audience that'll laugh at every joke I have.
That would be amazing.
What do you think?
We can get an applause light right here.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're on to something, Nick.
Perfect.
We're going to make a show out of this. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Dane.